My dear friends, a very warm welcome to you, and it's a joy to have you to reflect on the Gospel for the 5th Sunday of Lent. And the reading is taken from John chapter 8, verse 1 to 11. And the theme is Jesus, Defender of Sinner. When I was in primary school in the 70s, I was given the impression that corporal punishment was the norm in the school. And it was not uncommon for public caning to be carried out for naughty boys to teach them a lesson in front of the whole school assembled. When the principal came out with a rattan cane, we knew that there was going to be a show. We prayed hard that our names would not be the ones to be called out. In fact, I've come to realize that in the world of relentless power, corruption, corrupt religion, partisan politics, there is nothing to stop violent accusation, often trumped up and falsified against innocent victims of injustice. The sad thing is that often they have no recourse for such miscarriages of justice. The will to power is the unleashing of the force of hatred, scapegoating, and destruction in its path. It can be done in the name of national security, of national interests, religious law, honor, discipline, and even loyalty. The truth is usually that the accusers have more to hide than the victims. The accusers are ironically the guilty ones. They can cover up and distort the truth with the aim of blaming someone else for their guilt and the covert actions of ill intent to do harm to others. Our gospel for this week brings to us in a dramatic scene in which the adulterous woman was caught in the very act of adultery and made to stand entirely humiliated in front of everyone, including the scribes and Pharisees, who were the religious authorities of the day. They were all armed with stones, ready to unleash them at her at any moment without blinking an eye. But to justify themselves, they dragged Jesus into this predicament and said to him, "Moses ordered us in the law to condemn women like this to death by stoning. What have you to say?" In John chapter 8, verse 5. Jesus was put in a tight spot. To agree with them was to side with them in condemning her in the eyes of the Mosaic prescription of the law. To go against them was to be seen as going against Moses and the covenant given to him by Yahweh. How did Jesus respond to this conundrum? He simply became a defender of sinners, of helpless victims of violence and exploitation. He knew that the woman was a victim. She deserved to die according to the religious leaders. They were, after all, merely upholding the letter of the law and following orders. Surely she was not alone in her sin. As a lady parishioner said to me, the question I want to ask is, where are the men who were involved with her? The attitude of Jesus is one of compassion and forgiveness towards all of us sinners. He wants to break the logic and cycle of violence and hatred. Sin must not give birth to more sinful children. Sin has to be stopped and neutralized by love and forgiveness. Jesus adroitly wrote on the ground and said, "If there is no one who has not sinned, let him be the first to cast a stone at her." In John chapter 8, verse 7. What a checkmate move. In one stroke, he disarmed them, and slowly, one by one, they left, starting with the elders. It is always easy to accuse and condemn, but harder to forgive and heal. Thankfully, we have Jesus, who is the defender of sinners and sides with the victim and underdogs of this world, because he has come to save us out of love for every sinner. Indeed, Oscar Wilde has remarked correctly that the only difference between a saint and a sinner is that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So with that, my dear friends, I have two questions for our reflection. The first is, what stones have I cast at others around me unjustly in order to cover my own insecurities, guilt, and shame? And the second question is, whom do I need to forgive during this season of Lent so that I can make a good confession at this Lenten penitential service? And so with that, my dear friends, I invite you to join me to pray for protection together with Mother Mary. O Mary, you shine continuously on our journey as a sign of salvation and hope. We entrust ourselves to you, health of the sick, where at the foot of the cross you participated in Jesus' pain with steadfast faith. You, salvation of the Roman people and of the whole world, know what we need, and we are certain that you will provide, so that as you did at Cana of Galilee, joy and feasting might return after this moment of trial. Help us, Mother of Divine Love, to conform ourselves to the Father's will and to do what Jesus tells us. He who took on our sufferings upon himself and bore our sorrows to bring us through the cross to the joy of the resurrection. We seek refuge under your protection, O Holy Mother of God. Do not despise our pleas, we who are put to the test, and deliver us from every danger, O glorious and blessed Virgin. Amen. So thank you for joining me, and continue to have hope in the Lord, who is the defender of sinners.